Dr. Alistair Finch believed the world was a book, and every wild place was just a chapter he hadn't read yet. He was a man of science, of hard facts and peer-reviewed papers. But what does a man of facts do when the book he opens is written in the language of pure, suffocating dread? This story, my friends, is not for the faint of heart. It is the beginning of what came to be known as the Xylos Protocol. He was 3 days deep into the unmapped spine of the Balkans, a place that cartographers seem to forget on purpose. He was chasing a myth, a whisper of an ancient structure that his colleagues back at the university mockingly called Alistair's fairy tale. But the silence here wasn't the peaceful quiet of nature. No, it was pressurized, ancient, and fundamentally wrong. It was the suffocating silence of a mass grave, where the very air felt heavy with unspoken history. Every snapped twig under his worn-out boot sounded like a gunshot in a vast empty cathedral. Have you ever been somewhere that just felt off? Where every instinct in your body tells you to leave. That's where Alistair was. The trees themselves seemed to lean away from something deeper in the forest, their branches twisted in permanent recoil, as if flinching from an unseen horror. His academic confidence, once his strongest shield, began to fray at the edges. It was being replaced by that primal animal instinct that screams one simple, terrifying truth. This forest isn't empty. It's holding its breath. And you don't want to be there when it finally exhales. The map in his hands was a fragile thing. A photocopy of a photocopy, its lines blurred with each generation. He'd gotten it from a dying antiquities dealer in a dusty Belgrade shop. The old man had clutched Alistair's wrist with a surprising, skeletal strength and whispered, his voice a dry rustle. "The tower stands where the sun fears to set. Don't be there when it doesn't." At the time, Alistair had dismissed it as the rambling of a man lost to morphine and memories. But now, 3 days into this suffocating, claustrophobic forest, those words felt less like rambling and more like prophecy. Sheer exhaustion was finally winning the battle against his stubborn determination. He slumped against a large, moss-covered megalith, the kind of ancient standing stone that dots the forgotten corners of Europe. The stone was cold, impossibly cold, a deep, unnatural chill that seemed to leach the warmth from his very bones. As his hand slid down its surface, he felt something beneath the thick, damp layer of moss. Carvings. He scraped away the green coating with trembling fingers, his heart starting to pound a nervous rhythm against his ribs. And there they were, symbols. Deep gouges, hacked into the stone with a desperate, violent energy. These weren't the gentle, weathered marks of time. No, these were made by someone in a panic. Someone desperate to leave a message, to scream a warning across the silent centuries. He couldn't read the ancient, forgotten script, but he understood the pictograph that accompanied it. The universal language of fear. He saw stick figures, dozens of them crudely carved, their postures screaming "run," and looming above them, something else, something tall and spindled, its arms spread wide like a spider poised to strike. Its hands ended in lines far too long to be fingers. Talons, perhaps. Beneath this scene of panic was a second, more chilling image. The same stick figures, but this time they were all lying down, prone, and around them, small, scattered marks. Alistair stared, his mind struggling to process the implication. Pieces. A single cold droplet of sweat rolled down his spine, tracing a path of ice. He raised his camera with shaking hands, the loud click of the shutter sounding like a sacrilege in the crushing quiet. As he lowered the camera, his eyes still fixed on the grim carving, he noticed something that made his stomach clench into a tight, cold knot. There were more stones, a dozen of them, maybe more, forming a rough, uneven path leading deeper into the forest's dark heart. Each one was cloaked in the same ancient moss. Each one, he knew with a sickening certainty, carried the same frantic warning. Turn back, go home, flee. But academic pride is a special kind of madness, isn't it? It's a hunger for answers that can outweigh the instinct for survival. And Dr. Alistair Finch, a man who believed the world was a book, had come too far to turn back now. He was determined to read the next chapter, even if it was the last one he would ever read. He adjusted his pack, took a deep breath of the stale, heavy air, and took the first step down the path of warning stones, walking towards the place where the sun feared to set. He was walking towards the tower, and that is just the beginning of the discovery. What he found next would challenge the very foundations of science, history, and reality itself. The story of the Xylos Protocol is one we need to understand, a warning echoing from the past. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you want to find out what happened to Dr. Finch and what he discovered at the end of that path, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss part 2. Stay curious and stay safe.